Hi everyone, I'm Heather. Welcome to Strings and Threads, streaming to you from my dungeon of dreams. Join me in the magical world of crochet, knitting, and all things yarn. If you're a fellow yarn enthusiast, hit that subscribe button and become part of our creative journey. Let's dive into today's project. Hi, my name is Heather. Thank you for joining me today for this video tutorial on how to make this textured Tunisian crocheted scarflet. This isn't my first video tutorial for a scarflet, but in the last one that I did, I failed to say what a scarflet was. So I had a lot of questions about that. So I wanted to explain what it was here. And I looked up scarflet. It says it's a small scarf designed to be worn around your neck without trailing ends or creating a large lump under your clothing. So here we go. This is the scarflet. It's just a nice skinny scarf, and it's nice for any type of weather. If it's not super cold outside, this is nice. It'll just give you a little bit of warmth, and it's very stylish. I have been seeing these all over the place ever since I did my last tutorial. So I wanted to give some more options. I'll come up closer so you could take a look at this beautiful texture. I love this stitch. It's Tunisian crocheted, but don't be intimidated by that. It is so easy to do. I show you step by step what to do, and even if you don't have Tunisian crochet experience, you will be fine doing this. So let's get started with this project. Here's what you'll need for the Tunisian crocheted scarflet. I have a tape measure, and I have both inches and centimeters on mine. You don't have to have both because I'm going to tell you both measurements. I've been using a G, which is a 4mm crochet hook, a yarn or darning needle. This is just to weave in the ends. You may want a stitch marker. I don't think you will, but if you really like to use stitch markers, you might. I'm not going to use it in the tutorial. You'll need a pair of scissors. And then this beautiful yarn is what I'm going to be using. This is Yarn B Authentic Hand Dyed. I don't get any, I like this yarn, but I don't get any commissions or anything by promoting it. I'm just showing you what I'm using, and telling you I do like it. I don't get anything for saying that, but I do like it. This is, I believe that's the color Unicorn Horn, but I think it's really pretty. This is a thinner weight yarn. Does it say on there? It says you can use 3mm crochet hook. I use the 4. Okay. Oh, here's where it is. This says it's a 1 super fine. You can use whatever kind of yarn you would like. If you wanted to use a thicker yarn, you may. It just may, the dimensions may turn out a little differently than what I'm doing with the thinner yarn. So either way is fine. This is Tunisian crocheted, but you don't need to have a long hook. This hook right here, the Susan Bates, is long enough because we're not going to have a ton of stitches that we're working with. If you want to use a Tunisian hook, feel free, but you don't have to. And I just wanted to show you how the stitch looks. And it's about 2 inches wide. 2 inches is about 5 centimeters. To start, I'm going to start with an I-cord because it gives it a really nice foundation, especially for Tunisian crochet. You're welcome to do your foundation cord however you'd like. If you would like to use a lucite fork, you may do that. I'm going to show you my technique, and I'll go slow, so hopefully it's easy. If all else fails, you can chain the number of stitches that I am doing an I-cord for, but the I-cord, like I said, it just gives it a really nice foundation, makes it a lot easier. So you're going to want to have a tail, a little bit of a tail for that, because we're going to be pulling from the tail. I'm not measuring, but probably about this much. And then you're going to put a slip knot at the end of where your tail is. Okay. And then the way that we do the I-cord, you're going to take the tail and put it on the left, and then the yarn that you're drawing from what you're using on the right. And so you start with your tail and you bring it over to the right, and then you take the yarn, ball yarn, and you're going to go over top of this one to the left, and then you're going to take that yarn that we just yarned over with from the yarn ball and go through both of those loops, and that's your first I-cord. Let's keep doing this. Hopefully you're getting it. We're going to do 12 of these total. This pattern works up in even numbers. So I think 12 stitches gives it a really nice, it's about 2 inches, 5 centimeters, a really nice width for a scarflet, since scarflets are smaller, but you are welcome to make it any size you want. If you want it thicker, just chain any number that you want in even numbers. You know, if you want it to be thinner, then same thing, you would just chain in even numbers, but just less stitches. So that's one. All right, so the tail is back on the left, and the yarn attached to the ball, maybe I'll lift this up a little, is to the right. And I'm gonna, now I'll need to move it closer. I want you to see what I'm doing. I'll take the yarn from the tail and move it over to the right. Oops, that's why I was holding it. I'm gonna hold it. I know it's not as easy to see. Then you're gonna take the yarn that's from the yarn ball or skein or whatever you wanna call it, and you're gonna go on top and move it to the left, but you're gonna take that yarn that you just put on to the left, you're gonna take it and pull it through the other 2 stitches. That's 2. 2 for your I-cord. Okay, let's go again. Left to right, that's the tail. Right to left on top, that's from the yarn ball, skein, whatever you wanna call it. And then you pull through, that's 3. Take them from the tail and move it over to the right. Take from the ball, move it to the left, and that strand that you just took from the yarn, skein, ball, whatever you want to call it, pull it through the other 2 loops, and that's 4. Five, 6, 7, tail, yarn ball, 8, tail, yarn ball, 9, tail, yarn ball, 10, tail, yarn ball, 11, tail, yarn ball, 12. You might still have a little bit of a tail, and that's okay. We'll weave that in later. All right, so we're going to turn, because we were going this way, turn. And then I don't think we're going to do any turning after this, because you work in Tunisian, you work this way, and this go left, right, left, right, left, right. So what we're going to do, you want to be careful that you're not pulling from the tail. So I'm going to put my tail down here. We want to be drawing yarn from the source. So what you're going to do is go into the very first space here. And and you're going to bring up a loop and leave it on the crochet hook. You're going to go into the next space, bring up a loop, and leave it on. Next space, bring up a loop. We're at 4. 5. You can see what a nice edging that gives us on the bottom. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. This will be the first return pass, and then we're going to start the pattern. This is just getting started. We haven't started the pattern yet. So at the beginning, they always call it a chain 1. So you're just going to yarn over and just go through 1. They call that the chain 1. We're going to yarn over and then go through 2, yarn over, 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 go through 2, oops, I went through 3, there's 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and then we'll yarn over and go through the last 2. All right, here's how it looks. This will be the first forward pass repeat, and then there'll be a return pass repeat, and then we just keep repeating those 2 over and over until it's the length that you want. So if you need to keep coming back and watching this, I have it marked in the timestamp, so you can come back and watch this. I'm not going to do rows and rows and rows. I'm going to show you the first repeat, then I'll show you, this is the forward pass repeat, and then I'll show you the return pass repeat, and then it just repeats. So if you're familiar with just regular crocheting, these look like the posts in a double crochet, but these are called bars in Tunisian crochet. And you can see how the bars kind of have a front part and a back part. So we'll always skip this first one, but we're going to go for the first post, or for the first bar here, we're going to go in between. They call this a simple stitch. Go in between the 2 bars and bring up a loop. And then we're going to do 2 of the next stitch, which is in between the bars. So we just went through the first bar. In between this first bar and the second bar, we are going to we're going to draw up a loop. And then we're going to draw up a loop in between the next 2 bars. Okay, and then that's going to get repeated all the way across. I'm going to go all the way across with you, but I wanted to show you how this looks so far. So we're going to do a simple stitch next in between the 2 bars, the front and the back bar of the next stitch. And then we're going to go in between the 2 bars, in the middle of the 2 bars. I keep saying in between for this and for the other one. This would be between the front and back of this bar. We're going to go in the middle of the next 2 bars, the bar you just went through and the next one. We're going to go in the middle of that and draw up a loop. We're not going to go into the next bar. We're going to go into the next space between the next 2 bars and draw up a loop. And then we're going to go in between the front and the back of the next bar, the simple stitch. And then this same bar that we just went into, we're going to bring up a stitch between this one and the next bar in the space here. And then we're going to just ignore this bar. We're going to go into the space in between the next 2 bars. Then we're going to do a simple stitch, go in between the front and back part of the next bar and draw up a loop. Now in between the bar we were just in and the next bar, in the space in between them, we're going to draw up a loop. We're going to skip this bar, and in between this bar and the next bar, in the space in between, we're going to draw up a loop. Then we're going to go in between the front and the back part of the next bar, draw up a loop. We're going to go the bar we just did and the next bar, we're going to go in that space in between, pull up a stitch, and then you can see we're getting towards the end. There's one more bar, and then there's the chains. In between the last bar and the chains, you're going to draw up a loop. And then at the very end, we're going to do like you're starting a single crochet in a chain row. And then we're just going to draw up a loop. This will give the edge here a really nice look. If you look, all the edges will have a nice edge. So this is the first forward repeat. Every forward pass from now on is going to follow that same pattern. We should end up with 17 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we end up with 17. All right, this will be the return, pass, repeat pattern. Every return pass you do from now till the end is going to be done this same way. And I have it time marked in the description so you can find it and you can come back and watch this as many times as you need. So we're going to do our chain 1. You're going to yarn over and just go through 1. And then we're going to yarn over and go through 3, yarn over, go through 2. That's going to be the pattern all the way across now until we get to the very end, and I'll show you. Yarn over, go through 3, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 3, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 3, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 3, yarn over, go through 2, and then at the very end, you'll yarn over and go through 2 again. So at the very end, it'll be 2, 2. We will continue doing the forward pass repeat pattern, followed by the return pass repeat pattern until it's the length that you want. Or I made mine 50 inches or 127.5 centimeters. If you wanted to do it the same size as mine, you may. When you come back, when you have it the length that you want, I'll show you how to finish. So the finishing part will be different. So you will end on a return pass, and then I will show you how to finish. All right, I think I mentioned it in the last segment, but I made mine 50 inches, which is approximately 127.5 centimeters. So this is, mine is the correct length. I have it way all, it's big. This is how we finish. So you need to be finished with a complete return pass before you're ready to finish. So if you're on the other side, pause this, get to the return pass, and then come back. If you're ready, we're going to go through the same stitches we did before with one variation. So we would go into this stitch here, and instead of pulling up a loop, we're going to slip stitch through all the loops on your hook. And then the next space we would go would be right here. Pull up a loop, and then slip stitch through. This would be the next spot, slip stitch. And now we would go into this one here, slip stitch through all the loops. Right next to the V, slip stitch, draw a loop. Right on the other side of the V, slip stitch. Now we're back to going into this one. We're just going to slip stitch, and then right next to the V, pull up a loop and slip stitch. Right next to the other V, pull up a loop, slip stitch. Go in through here, slip stitch. Right next to the V, slip stitch. I think I said it before, but this is what I'm talking about with the V, this right here. You go on either side of the V. So there, and now on the other side of the V. Oops, I caught some of that yarn. Slip stitch. Go in through here and slip stitch. Slip stitch. Slip stitch, and then you will go like you had been doing, go into the side and pull up a loop to slip stitch here. At this point, you're going to cut a tail, and then you're going to draw it through the loop and weave in the ends like you would normally do. So here's the cut. Bring the tail through the loop to secure it. And then I'm going to use my yarn needle or darning needle to weave the ends into the back so that it just stays more secure. Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If so, please feel free to give thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps my channel. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.